Morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to CONNECTpreneur. We are a global community of over 25,000 investors, CEOs, entrepreneurs, business leaders, and professional service providers from around the world. Today marks our 72nd CONNECTpreneur event overall over the last 11 years, and this is our 28th virtual CONNECTpreneur Rocket Pitch event as well. We've had over 800 presenting companies, and our investor network now totals over 3,000 accredited private investors, angels, family offices, and VCs who are interested in investing in awesome deals that they can meet through the CONNECTpreneur community and our events. When we originally started CONNECTpreneur as a forum for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and investors to connect and engage, our focus was to help our people learn, be inspired, celebrate innovation and entrepreneurship. And our events are all about connecting. So that's why we do these events as meetings and not webinars. So every attendee will be able to see and private chat with every other attendee. And we also list all of our registrants for all of our events in the back of all the program books to make connecting and networking more convenient. And we're fully transparent. We have all of our program books on our website. They're freely downloadable. So feel free to do that. And Sky, if you could put the link to the program book into the chat box now, people can download if they haven't already. A couple things about today's event. After our final presenter, we're going to open up 10 breakout rooms. Each breakout room is hosted by one of our presenting companies. And you'll be able to enter and leave whichever breakout room you like. So please do visit with as many of the presenting companies that you have an interest in investing in or learning more about. And please remember that the purpose of the breakout rooms is for the presenting companies to go deeper with interested investors and partners, and they are the hosts. So please conduct yourselves accordingly. If you're trying to sell services, you can do that offline, but please leave the breakout rooms for investor discussion. Also, please be respectful and tactful when using the group chat. You can post your LinkedIn and other contact info and some introductions, but please do not overload the chat. There will be hundreds of messages on there today, as you know. So unless you're a presenter, please do not post stuff like more than 2 or 3 times. And our presenters will be posting links to their deck and their executive summaries in the group chat. They also may be posting registration information for follow-on investor meetings that they may be hosting on their own in the coming weeks. Also, very important note, as I mentioned, the group chat will have dozens, if not hundreds of messages. So we do recommend that you download your chat transcript before you leave the meeting or even before you go into the breakout rooms. That way you can read through them afterwards, because it's going to be hard to read through them now during the event. And how you do that is you click on the chat icon at the bottom of your Zoom toolbar, and you'll see a little rounded square with 3 dots, and just click on that icon and hit save. And your chat transcript will be saved, and you can review and follow up with all the messages later. Also, we're going to be doing polling. So we have investor polls. This is an investor-only poll. We have 3 of those. We have 10 presenters, so we're going to do a poll after the 3rd presenter, after the 7th, and then after the final presenter. And please remember, this is investors only. They're also confidential. We're not sharing the results with anyone except for the presenting companies themselves, and solely for the benefits of our investors and the benefit of our presenting companies. So investors, please indicate which companies you might be interested in learning more about. We'll make sure you're connected. As I mentioned earlier, the program book, which is now posted in the chat box, we have a link that has all 10 executive summaries, has information on our sponsors, as well as a list of all the attendees who have registered. So feel free to reference that throughout the event. We're also going to conduct 2 polls for our sponsors so that we can generate leads for them. This is really important because, as you guys know, this is a free virtual event, and our sponsors make our events possible. So please be sure, if you're interested in using the services of our sponsors, please indicate the need when we put up the polls. We will do a sponsor poll right before the rocket pitch session in a few minutes, and we'll do one immediately after for people who have joined late. You only need to respond 1 time. You don't need to do it twice. But thank you so much for your participation and to support our sponsors. And you can see the list of sponsors in the program book towards the back. They have their company information and contact bios, and I'll shout them out individually in a few minutes. I also want to thank our awesome CONNECTpreneur ambassadors who've done such a great job spreading the word about our events worldwide. And finally, special thank you to our awesome prep team. They're listed in the program book as well, right before the sponsor page. So here's a quick rundown for today. We have 10 total presenters. Each presentation is about 4 minutes, no Q&A. Any questions and answers can be done in the breakout rooms. The breakout rooms will not be open until the final presenter, and we'll keep that open for 30 to 40 minutes. And again, if you're an interested investor, please indicate this on the investor poll and stop by the breakout room. The first 5 presenters will be introduced by Anthony Millen of Next, powered by Shulman Rogers. And the next 5 will be introduced by Mark Haas, who's the co-founder and CEO of AEG. And investors, please remember, we will poll you after the 3rd, 7th, and 10th presenters. A couple of program notes. We have some events coming up. Our next in-person event will be held in Washington, D.C. on Thursday, May 19th. If you're in town, I hope you can join us. We expect a full house of over 350 people, including over 100 private investors and angels. Early bird pricing is in effect, limited time, so register today. We'll put the link to register in the chat box. Also, our next virtual Rocket Pitch event is Thursday, May 26th. We'll also put the link to register in that chat box. Please let our co-host and community manager, Skylar, know if you're interested in sponsoring, exhibiting, or presenting. In addition, we are pleased and proud again to be co-organizing the 9th annual Mid-Atlantic Innovation Awards program to be held in Tyson's Corner. It's an in-person event on May 12th. This is CONNECTpreneur's 4th year of co-hosting with the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. And this amazing program recognizes innovation of all kinds in all organizations. And we are really honored to have several CONNECTpreneur presenting alumni who have been past award winners and who are also this year's finalists for the competition. So hope you can make it. The website to visit is novachamber.org. More information and you can register there. So what I'd like to do is introduce Esther Lee. Esther is a sponsor. She is the CEO of Refraction, where we are broadcasting from, where we have our offices as well. It's the top co-working and innovation community in the Northern Virginia, DC area. And Esther has a special deal for anyone who wants to have a presence here, 2 months free on a 1-year subscription. But Esther also is heading up a very exciting program called the Smart City Works Challenge, and I'll let Esther tell us a little bit about that. Esther, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Tian. Thank you so much. We're so proud to partner with CONNECTpreneur on wonderful events, and especially these series which happen at Refraction. As Tian mentioned, we're a nonprofit innovation hub. We provide mentoring and programs and training and events for startups. So if you're looking for a great community to join in Northern Virginia, please let us know. And more importantly, since this is a very global audience, I wanted to at least let folks know that we are hosting the Smart City Challenge for our 2nd year with great partners like Virginia Tech, Girls in Tech, Smart City Works, Fairfax County, and others. We also work with Amazon, Cox, Dominion, Georgetown, and other partners on this global competition for the best solutions to pressing issues that cities face, right? Whether that's transportation, housing, infrastructure, public safety, healthcare. So it's pretty broad. And so we're asking entrepreneurs and students and folks from all different backgrounds to consider competing. You don't already have to have a team. You can just show up and we can help you find a team. But last year we did this for the first year and we had over 500 participants from all around the world. So I encourage all of you that are great entrepreneurs and startups to share, spread the word. Our first event, opening event, is on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can register there at bit.ly/SCC22. And we're lucky to have some great speakers, the Virginia Secretary of Commerce, the Fairfax County Chairman, Vice President from Cox, and also Capital One Arena General Manager. So it's going to be a great conversation. And TM, we're so excited to work with CONNECTpreneur this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Esther. We really appreciate your support over the years, and I think that this Smart Cities Challenge is going to be another epic event. Now I'd like to put up our first sponsor poll for our awesome sponsors. They are listed in the back-end program book, but I do want to read them off because, again, like I mentioned, they make this event possible. So if you have a need for any of the services that they provide, please indicate as such. But we have Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, Modus Create, Nemphos Brow, Stella Pop, Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, Startup Grind, Ryan and Wetmore, New York Life, SunTrust Bank, the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, Keiretsu Forum, George Mason University Mason Enterprise Institute, Enterprise Transformation Solutions, Angels and Life Sciences Investors, Refraction, Esther just spoke, Georgetown University Entrepreneurship, the Baltimore Angels, Founder Institute, SAPA, Maryland Tech Council, the Smith School of Business Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship at the University of Maryland, FITCI, Center for Advancing Innovation, the MIT Alumni Angels of Washington, D.C., Annual Wharton DC Summit, National Association of Business Owners and Entrepreneurs, the Institute for Excellence in Sales, COBE, the U.S. International Development Center, and last but not least, Monty Jade, Science and Technology Association of Greater DC. So leave the poll up for a few more seconds. Anyone else who's interested in the wonderful services that our sponsors are providing, as well as we do have some presenter spots available for in-person event on May 19th, as well as the virtual event on May 26th. So if indicated, let us know, and Skylar will get back to you. But thank you for participating. Sky, you can take down the poll whenever you want. Awesome. All right. So thank you guys for participating. So to introduce our first batch of presenters, I'd like to introduce longtime CONNECTpreneur partner, Anthony Millen, who's co-founder and chair of Next, powered by Shulman Rogers. Anthony is an attorney. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's also a general partner in a venture capital fund called Third Sphere. Next is disrupting the way startup law is being performed with packaged offerings on a fixed price basis. And Next was recently selected by Law.com and Legal Week as the startup emerging growth company law firm of the year, beating out several huge and well-known firms. And Anthony, I also want to thank you. I came to my office this morning and I got congratulations on your 50th anniversary of Shulman Rogers, and thank you for the flag. I really appreciate it. I hope it fits. Gained some weight during COVID, but we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for your support of CONNECTpreneur, and go ahead and let's get the ball rolling.
Great. Well, thank you, Tien, and thank you to Skylar and the CONNECTpreneur team for today's event. We at Next are very honored to be a longtime sponsor and supporter of CONNECTpreneur, which is a leading global event connecting entrepreneurs, investors, and other members of the startup ecosystem. As Tien mentioned, Next is an innovative new model for delivering legal services from launch through each stage of growth and has been designed from an entrepreneur's perspective. For more information on Next, you can visit us at www.next.law. The first company that I have the honor of introducing today is AlphaRank. AlphaRank levels the playing field for small to mid-sized banks and credit unions by giving them data-driven insights to achieve sustainable growth. Please welcome Jay Rosenblatt, CEO of AlphaRank.
Thank you. Bank branches are dying. However, AlphaRank is already helping dozens of small and mid-sized lenders make the shift to get and keep more customers. In 2021, a record 3,900 bank branches closed, a huge increase from the prior year. This is especially relevant for community lenders with local presence. Most branches are losing the battle to new digital entrants. When consumers go to a lender's website, they expect an Amazon or Uber-like experience. Otherwise, they quickly go somewhere else. Imagine a car buyer offered financing by the seller that can't easily find their own bank's rates, let alone sign up for a loan. Bank marketers struggle to know how their marketing drives loans. Google Analytics does not solve the problem, but AlphaRank does. AlphaRank consistently enables improved lender performance and a better customer experience. Production is typically up at least 50% in just months, simply by revealing where to fix their website and see the impact of marketing spending going forward. It's a no-brainer ROI. AlphaRank has gathered a proprietary data set of over 30 million similar visits across lender sites over the last 5 years. AlphaRank then benchmarks and ranks banks against each other so they can improve faster. Lenders can install AlphaRank immediately with a single line of code, no IT development. It may be hard to believe, but AlphaRank is the only plug-and-play analytics solution for banks that directly improves their online business. Besides web analytics that only track clicks, other options require completely replacing current systems. Not easy to do nor justify. Sorry. That is why I was excited to join AlphaRank early this year to take it to the next level. AlphaRank's initial target market is the 5,000 small to mid-sized lenders that have scale but don't have resources to develop a solution. AlphaRank already has 45 happy customers. This past fall, AlphaRank signed a resale agreement with the market-leading Meridian Link that has 1,900 lender customers of its own. They're signing more and more up with AlphaRank each month. We have a highly experienced team that has repeatedly created tremendous value, including 4 exits, $166 million raised, as well as $200 million in acquisitions. I'm here to tell you why AlphaRank is a great investment. AlphaRank had nearly $1 million in revenues in 2021 and reached break even in the third quarter. By 2024, we're going to reach $14 million in revenues, with 90% margins and 4 million in net profits. AlphaRank has raised $3 million to date, and we're seeking an additional $1.5 million to spend only on marketing and sales to quickly accelerate growth. This will enable us to reach our 2024 goals, including a healthy and profitable business, a strong market position. We'll be able to decide our next course, such as pursuing other markets and strategic acquisitions. We'll also be an attractive acquisition target ourselves. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in the breakout room.
Great. Thank you very much, Jay. The next company that I have the privilege of introducing is Atrace. Web3 is the World Wide Web based on the blockchain technology. Atrace is the first company to have successfully launched a protocol for referral marketing on Web3 for Web3 assets on blockchain. Please welcome Erwin Waring, CEO of Atrace.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So yes, Atrace is a referral marketing protocol for Web3. Now, there's various ways to explain a protocol, and it can get quite technical. So for now, I'll just provide a simplified, holistic overview of the proposition. Let's first touch on Web3, which can basically be explained as the World Wide Web based on blockchain technology. Now, I'd say some of you for sure are now going to be a bit wary when you hear the word blockchain and crypto, and I believe for all the right reasons. I also myself think that at least 80% of all crypto initiatives has no use case, it's total nonsense. But make no mistake, blockchain is here to stay. If you look at the core principles, databases with no central authority, independent validation, impossible to delete or manipulate data, those are really, really very valuable cornerstones. So don't take it from me, but blockchain is here to stay. Just look at the crypto currently already locked in terms of value, and look at the blue chip tech companies which are currently already engaged with Web3. Now, if you would look at Web3 right now, there's an issue. There's currently no performance-based marketing solution possible. So crypto projects at the moment, they live and die with their hype. So they spend a lot of money on marketing. You really talk billions if you do the maths. But in Web3, there's currently a complete disconnect between the marketing spend and real on-chain activity or real crypto usage. Currently, the only option crypto projects have for marketing is to give fixed fees to influencers or websites and then hope something happens. So there's no way, and this I talk billions right now, there's no way to measure the true value of the promotion. There does not exist a platform that does attribution or proof of effectiveness of these marketing outings. And then on the flip side, you have the large influencers, right? People with YouTube channels with 300,000 viewers or more, websites with millions of viewers. And they are talking about crypto projects without getting paid. They add huge value to these projects, but there's no way to be rewarded on a performance-based terms. Why is that? Because there's technically not possible yet to measure this influence of value basically for your crypto project, and this is where we come in. So a trace has developed referral oracles. It's a very technical term, but basically what we're talking about is a little piece of software that you can install on your computer. And these oracles, they can connect promotions via referral link with real on-chain user activity. So they can connect a referral link, if I share a referral link with you via WhatsApp or TikTok or Instagram, and then they can connect that, following that link with actual somebody using a crypto in a decentralized environment. Now, the methodology works by creating a three-party relationship between the public wallet addresses of the projects, the promoters, and the participants. This is a world's first. It's working. And this means you have performance-based marketing in Web3, which is trustless, transparent, and has zero data privacy issues. Now imagine having that on offer in Web2, where everything has problems with trustlessness, transparentlessness, and the data privacy issues go through the roof, as you all know. Current status, so we spent years developing it. Proof of concept is now live. The protocol is working. We've done a test with 20 projects. We connected about 2,600 addresses with no marketing outings yet. The project's already reaching out to us, so we got 90 projects in the pipeline at the moment. These are huge crypto initiatives. You talk Banker, QuickSwap, etc. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those names, but these are really all initiatives with billions of value behind them. And then we have also a pipeline of already 11 Taiwan promoters. And with that, I talk about websites with millions of traffic on a monthly basis or very large KOLs. Now, in terms of potential, if you look at online marketing spent currently in Web2, it's about 450 billion a year. And the expectations are that this will grow within 5 years to more than 750 billion a year. So if you believe that Web2 will slowly progress towards Web3, which many blue chip tech companies believe is going to be the case, then this is your market. And we are world's first, so we have first mover advantage. Entry barriers is high, and we have traction already. 3.5 million raised, currently raising another 3, which is the final raise. We have already 1.2 committed. We are forecasted to make about 100K a month by the end of the year. We're only going to do the real marketing push with this fundraise after we've done the website update, the Oracle update, and the app update, which all should be completed within 2 months. I thank you for your time, and I see you in the breakout room.
Great. Thank you very much, Erwin. I would now like to introduce Bridge Therapeutics. Bridge Therapeutics can disrupt the 36+ billion market for chronic pain and opioid use disorder with a superior, far safer drugs via FDA's 505(b)(2) pathway to commercialize in 12 months. Please welcome Tim Pera, President of Bridge Therapeutics.
Hey, thanks very much, Anthony. I want to talk about this disruption by treating pain without risking addiction. The problem we face is an important one, and it's key to the opioid crisis, namely the need for safe pain relief. Over 100,000 Americans died last year from drug overdose. The majority of these were not trying to get high, at least not originally. They sought pain relief, but their meds let them down, and things spun out of control. So how do we fix this? We're going to use a drug called buprenorphine and a delivery technology called Zydis. So buprenorphine, or simply Boop, already has been proven to be safe and effective to treat both addiction and pain. So it's relatively quick and easy to get FDA approval. But because the drug is generic, we need to add barriers to entry around our products to secure them. Zydis does that with patents and trade secrets. And for us, it fixes the key problem of buprenorphine, which is slow delivery through the mouth. It takes about 10 minutes now with current formulations and hurts the mouths and even causes dental problems in 1 in 5 patients. Our version takes just 3 seconds, so much, much faster, 3 seconds versus 10 minutes. It also is relatively inexpensive and much cheaper than the branded drug Suboxone to manufacture. If we look at our products, our Our addiction drug is called Bunals. We have 2 pain drugs. Bupono is buprenorphine only, whereas Bucam treats 2 pathways of pain by adding an anti-inflammatory drug, meloxicam. The markets we address are big, close to $40 billion, and that's split between addiction, which is where we compete with methadone and naltrexone, and the strong end or the worst end of pain, which is called moderate to severe, where we compete against traditional opioids like oxycodone, hydromorphone, fentanyl. Already we've made good progress to commercialize our business. We've licensed the delivery technology. We're conducting the only trial needed for FDA approval now, so we should be in sales roughly a year from now. Looking at our go-to-market strategies, we really have 2. We look to be focused for addiction because the problem here and its treatment today is highly concentrated by geography, through clinics, and by certified prescribers. Whereas for pain, we need a national effort, a big sales force. We also need to lobby government and payers, insurance companies, to use our safer drugs before opioids. That's not the case today. If we look at our management team, you can see a wide range of capabilities, from drug development and FDA approval to management, finance, marketing, and sales. Let me point out a few highlights. Our chairman, founder, and chief science officer, Dr. Greg Sullivan, has done 170 trials for FDA approval, including virtually every single trial of buprenorphine in America. I myself have been looking after startups for 20 years and raised over $200 million for them. Dave Bergstrom used to run the Zydus business. Demir Bingal has led market launches in the pain space. And Dr. Bob Rappaport ran the FDA's division for anesthesia, analgesia, and addiction medicine. If we look at our financials, you see that the numbers are robust. About $50 million in sales next year, growing to $800 million in 2026. Yet we have the potential to be in the billions. And we can get there through safer scheduling. Bup is a class 3 drug like codeine, whereas things like oxycodone, Percocet, Vicodin, fentanyl are all class 2, much more risky. We can get government guidance and become the standard of care in these sectors. So today we're looking for $2 million. That gets us to the next milestone, which is applying for approval of our first drug. Then we'll raise $18 million at a higher valuation to launch our first drug and start work on our first pain drug. So I thank you for your time and look forward to talking with you in the breakout room. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Tim. Why don't we put up investor poll number 1, Sky, please? This is for our investors only, and it's for our first 3 presenters. So anyone interested in learning more about AlphaRank, Atrace, or Bridge Therapeutics, please indicate as such, and we will keep these poll responses completely confidential and only share with the presenting companies. And also, as a reminder to everybody, we are having 10 breakout rooms. So each one of our 10 presenters today will be hosting their own breakout room after the last presenter goes. And we have 2 more polls. So we're going to do 4 more presentations. We'll do a second investor poll, and then we'll do the final 3 presentations and a final investor poll, and then we'll open up the breakout rooms. But why don't we, so this is for investors only. So any investors who are interested in AlphaRank, who was our first presenter, Atrace, and or Bridge, please indicate as such. We'll keep it open for a few more seconds. I still see some poll results coming in. And also as a reminder to download your chat history before you leave the event and also before you go into the breakout rooms, because as you can see, there's a lot of action in the chat box. So please don't forget to do that. That way you can follow up with people that are private messaging you and whatnot. So great. Sky, I think we can take down the poll now and turn it back over to Anthony Millen. Anthony.
Great, thanks, Tien. Next, I would like to introduce Data Licensing Alliance. Data Licensing Alliance is the first STEM data licensing marketplace targeted for AI machine learning. The company is a platform to help scientists license STEM data for their A1 drug discovery efforts. Please welcome David Myers, CEO of Data Licensing Alliance.
Thank you. This is Data Licensing Alliance. We make AI smarter. We are a marketplace that makes it easier for data scientists to license data for their AI drug discovery efforts. So just like Amazon makes it easier to match somebody selling t-shirts to somebody buying t-shirts, DLA will match buyers and sellers of data. So for the last 22 years, I've been licensing data, and my clients use AI and machine learning to shorten the time for drug discovery from decades to weeks, saving multiple millions or even billions of dollars in the process. So just imagine if a drug to cure cancer can be found in weeks instead of decades and at a fraction of the cost. Wouldn't that be awesome? But with an ever-increasing amount of data produced in the world, people believe that managing the magnitude of all this data is the problem. I'm telling you, it's not. The problem is that data is likely undiscoverable or inaccessible. It is just too hard to get access to all the relevant data. Because data licensing is very inefficient because it's time-consuming, it's costly, it's disaggregated, and data is locked in silos. Our solution makes licensing data much more efficient. By automating over 70% of the steps in licensing data, we have increased the efficiency by 6x. And as a source of aggregated data, our collaborative platform will allow us to create, own, and market supplemental derivative data sets. So on DLA, data scientists would search for specific data sets like images of arm fractures, add it to their shopping cart, accept the appropriate license, pay the applicable fees, and receive their data to be used in training their AI algorithms or deriving information and knowledge from the data. While our marketplace is applicable for any data set and any use case, we'll be initially focusing on STEM data for drug discovery. This market is a $200 billion market, and funding for AI drug discovery has grown over 3,800% over the past 5 years to $2 billion. And this growth is fueled by data scientists licensing data, such as medical journals or chemical databases, for use in the initial drug discovery phase of a drug through to its approval. We do have competition. However, we have strong competitive advantages. We have a clear and thorough understanding of the licensing process and have first mover advantage. This, coupled with a unique and comprehensive data sets targeted to multiple constituencies, will certainly set us apart. In a short amount of time, we've completed our MVP and associated marketing site. We've loaded our first set of data. We have our first set of partnerships leveraging prior clients like the American Medical Association, and in discussions with our first set of target accounts like my client, AstraZeneca. My team and I have had 5 successful exits and over 155 years of combined relevant experience. As senior executives in the STM publishing industry for the last number of decades, we have created and managed industry-leading products and services and have deep and significant relationships doing exactly the activities we are building. We will achieve revenue momentum by capitalizing initially on 3 synergistic revenue streams: transaction fees, derivative data fees, and consulting services fees. With this, we're projecting $900,000 of revenue at 20% margins in 2022. And by 2024, we're projecting $80 million at 30% margins as we develop more mature products and relationships and create more company-owned products that lead to bigger deals and increasing deal flow. We've raised $600,000 in our first round, and we are now raising $2 million to do 4 key things: activate 5 core sellers, capture 5 of the top 20 pharma, have users from 50 universities, and a robust community of 50,000 active users month over month. So are you ready to join the Alliance and help data more accessible to data scientists curing diseases? If so, join me in the breakout room. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, David. I would now like to introduce eLivestock Global. eLivestock Global has created a global traceability solution for livestock identification and health tracking. This blockchain-powered system supplies an identity and simple health record that captures information that is useful for the entire value chain, from farmer, wholesaler, all the way to the consumer. Please welcome Chris Light, founder and CEO of eLivestock Global.
Thank you. It's great to be here and great to speak with you at this event about our global traceability solution for healthy livestock. But first, let me introduce you to our mascot, Elvis, on the left. How did we come about? Well, let me tell you our story, the start of which takes place in Zimbabwe in southern Africa. In 2018 in Zimbabwe, there was a preventable cattle disease outbreak that caused the deaths of between 50 to 100,000 animals. The exact number is unknown. This avoidable outbreak could have been preventable with pre-treatment, minimized with effective treatment, and a more coordinated response could have been undertaken. We thought there's got to be a better way to do this. And while we started here, this is a problem that is a global opportunity and one for which we have developed an exciting solution. What we developed is a high-frequency readable identity tag, which can be read with a long-range reader, a reader that collects information for our proprietary application. This app gathers data and organizes it clearly. In this way, we have created a better way to do cattle healthcare. It's a simple while robust solution consisting of an electronic health record and paired to a unique cattle identification number and using blockchain for provenance of information. Gosh, what does that all mean? Well, it reduces risk for the farmer. The collected information increases the value of the animal. And also, consumers increasingly want to know the history of their food and that this information can be provided towards that. Now that we have our better way, how big can we go? Well, there's 1.4 billion cows in the world, of which 140 million are in North America. Africa, where we are rapidly expanding, has another 250 million. Additionally, our solution works with other livestock such as sheep, pigs, and goats, while being compatible with other tag ID technology, including relevant international and global standards. Speaking of other solutions, we do have competition. However, they seem to think the cost should be from $50 upwards per animal for equipment and or per year, as well as that should go towards that you should need satellite access or have to touch the animal's ear to get an accurate reading. Our reader works at a more comfortable distance of up to 50 feet. This allows for additional functionality such as stock animal and stock counts. We are partnered with MasterCard Corporation for our blockchain solution. After our initial 10,000 animal pilot, we're rolling out to another 55,000 animals to date. We're also officially undertaking a pilot in a second country. We won the Digital Banker Award for Best Blockchain Solution in Agriculture in Africa in 2021. We're in the inaugural cohort of the Blockchain Accelerator at the Smith Business School at the University of Maryland. Our technical solution is so highly regarded that it has been featured in the November 2021 edition of RFID Journal. Speaking of press, here is a selection of where we've been globally published, such as the FinTech Times and Global Trade Review. Our senior team has over 100 years of experience with an emphasis on technology, business, agriculture, and food, with 4 serial entrepreneurs on our team for a total of over 15 companies, including several exits and fundraising rounds. Our model gets its revenue from tag sales and subscriptions. We anticipate $1 million in revenue this year, $3 million next year, $7.5 million in 2024, $30 million in 2025, and then in 2026, we anticipate $75 million in revenue. We have raised over $200,000 to date. We have a lead investor. Our ask is $1 million with proceeds to be used for sales, marketing, and additional global rollout. Here's Elvis again. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the breakout room.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris. And now to introduce our next 5 presenters, I'd like to introduce Mark Haas, who's the CEO and co-founder of AEG. AEG is the DC and Baltimore region's top alliance of elite service provider advisors. AEG is expanding into other regions around the U.S., including Florida. And members include some of the leading business professionals in the Washington, Northern Virginia, and Baltimore region. I'm personally an investor and advisor to AEG, and Mark is currently in fundraise mode. So Mark, please do say a few words about your fundraise and put your executive summary in the chat so anyone who's interested can reach out to you. And please also give us a few more details about AEG. So thank you so much for your support of CONNECTpreneur, and welcome. Mark, are you there?
Yep, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks to be a longtime supporter and a longtime caller. AEG is a growing company. We're building a national ecosystem of exclusive communities of both elite business advisors as well as successful CEOs of mid-market companies. What we do is provide them unprecedented business development and peer-to-peer networking opportunities. This ecosystem connects together expertise and resources to help those mid-market companies grow, connect advisors together, and support regional economic development. Like Tien said, we're in the middle of a capital raise, and I will put information on this into the chat room. But we have a high recurring revenue margin, high margin, virtual organization, and technology scale. Even if you're an advisor or a CEO, as well as an investor, and want to find out more, reach out to me. And I'll put the information in the chat room. I'd like to introduce our first company. It is Edge Surgical, and it's a medical device company focused on orthopedic and spine surgery market. And it's got the trifecta of better outcomes, better patient experience, and lower costs. And I'd like to introduce Chris Wilson, President and CEO of Edge Surgical.
Thank you for the kind introduction. So let's talk about surgical screws for a quick. Orthopedic and spine fusion surgeries. Getting the right length of screw is important in the overall efficacy of these procedures. So as you can see in this X-ray here of an orthopedic wrist fusion, there are several screws placed into the bone. However, getting the correct length of screw is not always consistent using legacy tools and techniques. And it doesn't take a surgeon to understand that this screw is obviously too long and will cause trauma to adjacent tissue. However, after talking to several of our hand surgeons, they feel that this screw also to the left can be problematic as well. If you can imagine, there is a tendon that runs along the wrist that could, at worst, rupture if it rubs against the tip of this screw. And this is not an isolated incident. It happens up to 25% of the time, getting inaccurate measurements today using legacy tools and techniques. As you can see, the screw is actually coming out of the skin on this foot. Yuck. So the root cause is this outdated surgical tool you see here. This is the standard orthopedic depth gauge, invented in 1925, and has been a mainstay of determining bone depth for almost 100 years. Every single orthopedic company in the world has this device, and all suffer from the same limitations. Between outdated analog measurement and bag ergonomics, this device drives up to 25% of inaccurate screw selection. And because it's reusable with lots of nooks and crannies, it is difficult, if not impossible, to clean properly, which can lead to costly infections, as you can see in this case study here recently in the Denver, Colorado area. So our solution is, simply put, the digital version of an outdated analog technology. We've addressed the limitations of the legacy analog solution by, one, optimizing the hook to the device so it can better anchor itself to the bone, offering a universal nose that works with most companies' plating systems, of course, the ability to provide an easy-to-read digital measurement, and the ability to lock the screen in place, which all leads to reducing mismeasurement by 90%. Also, this device is single-use, which means no risk of biocontamination that can lead to infection. As you can see here, the market size is quite large in the United States, divided between the general orthopedic and spine markets. And our best asset is our team. Very experienced, over 100 years of combined industry experience, involved in over 20 exits in the orthopedic and spine area. A couple I'd like to point out here is obviously myself. I've been in the industry for over 20 years, including time at Abbott Diagnostics and PwC's medical device practice. Casey, who's in the top right there, Edge Surgical co-founder with me, over 20 years of orthopedic spine sales experience, including 10 years at Medtronic, where he was in the President's Club for 2 years there. Chris Lyons, who's in the middle far left there, former global director of business development at Medtronic Spine, who understands the M&A process and has established our M&A strategy to maximize investor return. So in talking about our competition along the key criteria of ease of use, infection mitigation, accuracy, and affordability, we beat our competition easily. And very strong traction today, just not from growing sales, but also from a strong and growing patent portfolio. This includes 3 freedom to operates, which all came back clean, and the development of our next generation solution for the spine market. With regards to sales, we're in our 5th month of growth as we speak, and so we anticipate meeting our end-year goal of around $2.3 million in sales. And as for the investment opportunity, we're raising $2.5 million via a convertible note, of which over $100 million is subscribed and currently committed. And this includes $150K from a surgeon user, which provides tremendous validation for our product. Again, I'm Christopher Wilson, CEO of Ed Surgical, and I look forward to seeing you in the breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Our next company is Everex Optical Filters. This name implies Everex manufactures ultra-thin optical filters, far more compact at a far lower price than competitors, really for medical or technology products. So again, lower cost, better performance. Our presenter today is Houman Banay, co-founder and CEO of Everex.
Thank you very much, Mark, for the introduction. So our customers are OEM manufacturers of wearable and portable medical and technology devices, and we help them with the most compact and the most scalable and the lightest weight optical filter as a component on the market. So optical filters are high selectivity materials that are made for selectively separating and splitting the spectrum of light. They're typically made of tens and hundreds of nanolayers to function this way. And they are used in numerous devices in our surrounding today and in a lot of emerging applications. Think about, optical fiber network, PCR machines, gesture recognition, face recognition features. They are all using optical filters, and next generation smartwatches will have a lot of filters. LiDAR sensors for autonomy, AR, VR headsets, they will all be heavily depending on high performance optical filters. But the current industry has some challenges. The current filters on the market are either too bulky, they're too heavy, they are too simple from the perspective of their form factor, and also they're too expensive for a lot of these consumer level applications. That's where Everex comes in as a heavily patented manufacturer with the thinnest and the most compact optical filters on the market by a factor of 20 better than our competition. We're the only ones producing these high complexity nanolayered optical filters in the form of either rigid or flexible substrates. And as a cherry on the top, we have a process that is by far, by a factor of 30x, more scalable than our competition. From a scalability standpoint, it is very similar to optical fiber drawing or Gorilla Glass manufacturing for all of our screens. And we're heavily patented. Actually, as of today, we're 9 issued patents and 25 pending patents. So what we've done so far as a company and where we're headed next. So with a fully validated technology and hundreds of paying early adopter customers and very meaningful channel and marketing partnerships with Edmond Optics, we are now in that transition of serving medium volume orders, from a number of these names that you see on the screen here, and headed towards high volume deliveries. And in that transition, we're raising these funds to strengthen our sales organization and also certify our operation to win more volume contracts. And our primary focus will be on life science and biotech, AR, VR headsets, and LiDAR sensors in general for all kinds of autonomy. So we've had about $1 million in revenue so far. This year we'll definitely see a great growth also, and we're headed towards about over $80 million in revenue by 2026, which puts us in a really good position to entertain exit opportunities as a unicorn company. By the way, that claim is completely supported by M&A data in our market. So we've got a great, talented, and very resilient team that has delivered on all the technical and commercial success so far. We have just recently recruited Bill as a fractional CFO to make sure your money is handled with professional involvement. And very quickly, we're recruiting a senior sales engineer and a director of operations. And on top of that, we have a great team of directors and advisors bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience from our industry and tens of millions of dollars in funds raised and multiple exits within our industry. So very, very familiar with what we're doing. We've utilized about $6 million of funds so far, $1.5 million in the form of non-dilutive government grants, $700K from me personally. And now we're here raising $2.5 million on a convertible note with $12 million cap and 20% discount as a bridge to prepare the company for a very healthy over $30 million valuation for our final round of funding. And out of this round, about 80% is already either invested or in soft circle. And we're here today really to fill that last 20%. With that said, thank you so much for your attention. I look forward to the deeper dive conversations today.
Great. Thank you so much, Ruman. Now we'll put up our second investor-only poll, and that will be for our past 4 presenters. So this is for investors only. So if you're interested, please indicate, and we'll keep these confidential as well. We will not share this with anyone except for the presenting companies. I do want to remind everybody that we are having 10 breakout rooms after our last presenter. We have 3 more presenters left, and we will open up breakout rooms after presenter number 10. We'll do a final investor poll, and then we'll open up the breakout rooms. And you can ask questions and go deeper with our presenting companies at that time. Also want to bring to your attention our Slack channel. We have 4,200 people on it from our community. If you want to join it, it's free. And I think Skylar has posted into the chat box a few times. You can join our Slack community and use it as a resource to network and also to get advice and get input on any needs you might have. And also want to direct you to our YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube and search CONNECTpreneur. We have almost 400 videos of previous presenters and master classes on there. So again, that's free. You can just go on YouTube and subscribe. So please do that. So I'll keep this up for a few more seconds. We have Data Licensing Alliance, eLivestock Global, Edge Surgical, and Everex. And Human's a poster child for a successful CONNECTpreneur presenter. I think this is his 5th time, and every time he's raised money from our investors. So congrats on that. And last call for investors. Okay, we can take the poll down and bring back Mark Haas, who will introduce our final 3 presenters. Mark.
Great. Thanks for that, Human. Our next company is Gemba. The term is a Japanese term, which means the real place. It's kind of the place where everything happens, so it's a great name for a business. Gemba is a company, payment solutions company, helps businesses build their financial infrastructure and individuals manage their assets using mobile and web banking solutions. Our presenter today is Alexander Legoshin, the CEO of Gemba.
Thank you for the introduction. So Gemba is a UK financial institution built like a bank, which enables any company or a community to start a neobank in under 1 day online. New companies in the UK and Europe struggle to open current accounts for their operational needs, and local incorporation services provide assistance in account opening through introductions to the banks. With our solution, these incorporation services will be able to quickly launch online banking application branded under their brand on their domain, and for that they will only need about a day and $600 for installation. After the installation, their customers will be able to open accounts, make transactions, and use financial and business management software right on their domain. So this makes these incorporation services a one-stop shop for starting and running a business. Having solved the account opening problem, incorporation services also get an additional revenue stream through the revenue sharing program that we have for them. The next step in our development will also enable any company or community to start a neobank for their followers or employees, so no need to create a credit union anymore. Right now, our mobile applications and web applications are live. We have clients and they generate revenue for us. It only takes about 5 minutes to open a personal account and about 3 hours for a corporate account. We are a startup-friendly neobank, and we are the only solution that provides a white label online banking, which is as easy to install as Google Workspace. We open accounts for companies and individuals from 60 countries, including the US, and we have a revenue sharing program of up to 20%. Gemba is a part of neobanking market, and the market potential is huge. It's estimated to reach $2 trillion in the upcoming 8 years. We also have competition, and some of our competitors provide banking as a service like we do. But in order to get started with them, you would firstly have to develop your fintech application. Then you would have to have a budget of $50 to $250,000 for licensing. You would have to have a team of developers to integrate, and you would probably need 3 to 6 months for that. With our solution, it only takes 1 day and $600. Our license was granted back in 2019. We grow 45% monthly on average, but last month we grew about 100%. And next month, we are launching our white label online banking application. Our core team has more than 100 years of banking experience in top tier banks, and this team is poised to take the company to the next level. We have a transactional business model, and we expect to reach $4.6 million in revenue this year, and by the end of year 5, it may be $189 million. We have already raised more than $5 million, and now we're seeking to raise $3.4 million for growth and expansion. Thank you, and I hope to meet you in our breakout room.
That was great. It's interesting. Our next presenter is Kirsten Hun-Blair. She's the co-founder and CEO of Lambent Data. Lambent Data is a HIPAA-compliant, SaaS-based connector of social service providers and healthcare to help engage patients and clients more fully than previously. It helps with data analytics for providers and helps patients just track their social service and healthcare information and milestones more completely. Kirsten, tell us more.
Thank you so much. We at Lambent Data have built this outreach collaborative software platform and app with data analytics. And as you described, this is a platform to which the healthcare and social service providers subscribe, and it equips them to engage their patients and clients more fully and empowers those families to really develop many goals, milestones, other features, which leads to improved outcomes and lower costs. The current case management solutions do not robustly engage or inspire the patients or clients. There are pain points that the providers feel in care coordination and also data that they don't have. Meanwhile, the families are struggling. So over 40% in the US are struggling to make ends meet and juggling housing, jobs, education, health, and so much more. There are immense healthcare costs in the US, over $1 trillion in hospital costs, and $42 billion of that are costs that the hospitals have to absorb in uncompensated care. And that's why the providers and payers are increasingly recognizing the importance of social determinants of health. These are driving 80% of the health outcomes, and it also leads to the preventive care and other value-based care models for payment. This is where we come in. We are a collaborative, HIPAA-compliant SaaS platform. Our customers are the providers, and they provide those logins to their staff as well as to the families they serve. It can be accessed through many different devices. And for the patients and clients, it's empowering through these milestones and goals, integrated resources, and communication across 100 languages with their case managers and mentors. This leads to a concierge-type experience with a very easy design. And for the providers, it is creating all this new data that they've never had before about how to help their patients and clients in terms of how those patients are progressing towards the desired outcomes. It fits into the provider workflow, and it also reduces costs. We have a first mover advantage because of this action-oriented integration of the health and social determinants of health, the collaborative features, and the fact that the providers can customize it to their various cohorts. The others in the market fit into different parts of the workflow, and a prospective customer last week said that we were the missing piece she was looking for. We have strong traction. We've launched with a national social service agency, and we're near to formal signing with a university hospital system and a statewide social service agency. We have a robust pipeline, and the addressable market is huge in both healthcare and social services. This drives our revenue and profitability, projected this year for over $300,000 in revenue, and then building to $31 million by 2025 and profitability in 2024. Our team is very diverse and has deep experience across all sectors. We have a combined 9 exits and much M&A experience across the executives and the board and advisors. Please join us to invest in the rest of our bridge round that we're raising now and our Series A later this fall. Investors qualify for 20% back from the state of New Jersey, even if you don't live here. Please join my colleagues and I in the breakout rooms. We look forward to talking with you further. Thank you.
Thanks, Kirsten. That's an exciting idea. Our last presenter is the Jet. And if any of you have traveled by bus from New York to Washington or back and forth, there are a dozen opportunities for you, and it's all kind of a race to the bottom. Jet's turned that on its head, providing a luxury experience of a private jet, starting out between New York City and Washington, D.C., but expanding to the rest of the country. So excited to hear from Chad Scarborough, the founder and CEO of the Jet.
Thank you, Mark. I'm Chad Scarborough. Hi, everyone. Founder and CEO of the Jet. Inner city travel in this country, that is short to mid-distance, point-to-point travel between major cities, is a mess. It's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, and it's overpriced. As an example, let's look at New York City to D.C., a route a lot of us are familiar with. Now, by almost any metric, this is the premier mass transit market in North America. Yet our options for traveling between these two cities are basically a series of pain points that we pay entirely too much for. At the high end, you have the airlines, the shuttles, just a ton of hassle for a short trip. Then you have Amtrak, the Acela, and the Regional. Kind of the best of the bunch here, but it's still not a particularly great way to do it. Vox.com actually referred to Amtrak in the Northeast as, quote, Russian quality at Swiss prices. And finally, you've got the discount buses at the low end, Greyhound and Vamoose. Nice price point, but obvious comfort issues there. So again, the premier market, but not a single nice way to do this trip until now. The Jet is a brand new inner city travel concept that combines the luxury environment of a private jet with the affordability and convenience of a motor coach. Whereas your typical coach bus is 50 plus seats, we limit it to 19 passengers. And you also get to reserve your exact seat. So there's no waiting in line, no station hassles. On board, it is a true first-class environment with a nice upscale restroom in the back and an onboard attendant delivering in-seat service, including drinks and snacks and beer and wine, true high-speed Wi-Fi, and then our game-changing feature, the world's very first motion-canceling passenger seats that we call the hover seats. These eliminate 90% of the bumps and vibration from the road. I'll get into the tech on these a little more in the breakout room, but these seats are remarkable. It is the most comfortable seat in travel. You basically just float the whole time. So overall, a very high-end experience, but as a motor coach, we're still affordable. So prices starting from just $99 one way between DC and New York. How we stack up against the competition, how we'll win, super straightforward. We are a much nicer way to travel at a much better value. So we launched this past November, and the past 5 months have been terrific. We're way ahead of expectations in terms of both ridership and sales. We're actually on track to do almost $2 million in revenue in our very first year, and we've gotten great traction in the press and also in social media, rave reviews from national outlets on Instagram, Facebook. We've also had a number of videos go viral, including one that has 4 million views. Looking at our upside in this initial corridor, as we scale to 20 coaches over the next couple of years, which is our game plan, our current fleet is 4. Even getting to 20 coaches, we'd be just 5% of the current addressable market. And that's a market that is obviously going to continue to rebound post-COVID in the next few years. So plenty of room for growth here at home. And then as we look nationally, we've identified 50 plus routes as prime expansion targets. Now, the people in most of these cities had the exact same pain points we have here with no good solution. So we really feel strongly that, especially as we move towards autonomous vehicles and greener forms of travel, that upscale luxury motor coaches will be the disruptors in the city-to-city travel space. We've got a terrific team together with over 100 plus years of combined industry experience, have worked on over 100 products, and have 3 exits. Looking ahead to the next 5 years financially, this is a very conservative model we put together, very investor-friendly. We're reinvesting a lot of capital to help scale the fleet. It gets us to $40 million in revenue and $19 million EBITDA, putting us in a really nice position for a year 5 exit. Towards that end, we're currently seeking to raise $4 million at a $20 million valuation as we begin to scale the fleet. So that'll be used for coach customization, for marketing, SG&A, and working capital. We currently have $300,000 in hard cash committed to this round, and we're looking for a $50,000 minimum investment. Again, I'm Chad Scarborough, founder and CEO of The Jet. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to meeting you all in the breakout.
Thanks so much, Chad. Great job. I can't wait to try the Jet. I'm a believer in taking motor coaches to New York from the DC area. But let's put up our final investor poll. This is for investors only, please. And while you guys are indicating, please note that we'll keep these results confidential. We'll share them only with the presenting companies. And we will do, after this investor poll, we'll do a sponsor poll. That's the second sponsor poll that we're doing. And if you've already answered the poll from earlier, that's fine. This is more for people that joined us after we started. And again, we want to support our sponsors. But yeah, so we'll keep the poll up here for a little while longer. We're going to go into breakout rooms as well after we do our sponsor poll. So you'll have a chance to go one-on-one or in small group discussions with our presenting companies. We have 10 breakout rooms that are set up. The names of each presenting company is on each breakout room. So you'll be able to go into whatever breakout room you'd like and in and out. And also, please note that our presenters may be doing, many of them are going to be doing follow-on deep dive meetings, either one-on-one or in small groups. So please be sure to ask them about that, or they'll probably inform you about that. They'll be doing that over the next few weeks. So again, thank you, investors, for participating. Sky, why don't we put up our sponsor poll number 2? And this is to support our sponsors. If you've already responded, no need to check the box again. But we have great sponsors. We obviously want you guys to support them because they support our event, make it what it is, and they contribute to the fact that it's free. So if you're looking for marketing services or legal services or application development services, we have somebody who's really good for you. So just let us know, and we'll put you in touch with our sponsor providers. Also, if you're interested in having us do a custom event, we have over 3,000 high net worth investors in our community, and we do this regularly for investment funds and for companies. And if you're interested in sponsoring our event or pitching at a future virtual event, our next one is on May 26th. Or we do have a couple spots open on May 19th in Washington, D.C. We'll have 350 attendees with over 100 investors. So if you're interested in that, let us know, and we'll be glad to get you the information on that. So Sky, we'll keep it up for a couple more seconds before we open up the breakout rooms. And just final note, the chat box is really crowded, as you know, and you guys have seen a lot. We recommend that you download the chat history and read it later so you can follow up with people before you go into breakout rooms. So just click on the chat icon on the Zoom toolbar. There'll be a little rounded square in the bottom right corner with 3 dots. And you want to click on that and hit save. That way you can read the chat history at your convenience later. And, with that, I think we are all good. We're going to open up the breakout rooms, and you guys can feel free to go into whatever breakout rooms you would like. Again, these are hosted by our presenting companies, so please be respectful. And thank you guys for joining us. We will see you either in DC on May 19th in person, or again, a month from now on May 26th virtually. And we really appreciate you guys being part of our community. We have a great Slack channel. you guys can join, use it as a resource. We have a YouTube channel that you can join and watch our videos. And all of our presenters today their videos will be put on the YouTube channel as well. So with that, go ahead into the breakout rooms. We'll keep it open for at least 45 minutes or so, and we'll see you guys either back here or have a great day, and we'll see you soon. So thank you very much. And if you have any issues getting in and out of the breakout rooms, just let Skylar know, and we can manually move you guys, okay? Thank you guys so much.